LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Opportunity can knock at any moment. When it does, you can't afford to miss a call. That's why you need a business phone system that gives your team the flexibility to answer anytime, anywhere. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, we make it easy to equip your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. We enhance the efficiency technology provides while putting people first in all we do. That's why we meet your business right where you are by offering customized office technology solutions that meet your specific needs. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through April 1st is $1 off all pasta, $2 off spaghetti sauce, and special discounts on hamburgers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or also at 168th and Maple Streets in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to it. This is Old School, our last hour of the day down here at Wings and Rings. But don't forget, we are back tomorrow starting at 11 a.m. We'll be here until 6 again tomorrow. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland hanging out with you for another hour here on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Still plenty to get to around the wide world of sports. Obviously, we'll keep you up to date with everything that's going on in the wide world of March Madness and college basketball, and then some other sports news as well. Stricky, let's just start with some other news since we've been talking a lot of college hoops. The Boston Celtics were officially sold today. There were rumblings that Jeff Bezos was going to be involved. He does not appear to be in the group that ended up buying the Boston Celtics for over $6 billion earlier today. First of all, a franchise that big coming off winning the NBA Finals being sold by the Grousbeck family is certainly news in and of itself. But the other part of this is the Grousbeck family that owned the Celtics is getting out of having to pay the largest salary bill in NBA history. With Tatum's extension, with Brown's extension, with Porzingis, with White. We know all the contracts that made it worth it. Boston got a ring, hung another banner. But holy cow, they got out at the right time. And they made some money instead of having to spend some major money.
Well, that's for sure. Listen, it has went to a whole nother level. I mean, is this an inflation rate?
I don't know, man.
Is this, like,
it's kind of the going rate is kind of crazy.
That's wild. Like, it is a storied franchise, so you've got to, take that into account. But my gosh, $6 billion? Like, just think about that, right? You got a group that's sitting around just, does he like basketball? Is he a basketball guy?
I don't know. Let's see.
Like that's the thing you got to look at now. What type of ownership is taking over? We know what took over in Dallas. They're not basketball guys. Like, is it a basketball guy?
Let's see.
Bill Chisholm?
So Bill Chisholm, businessman on Wikipedia. I don't know. Again, this is Wikipedia. Take this with a grain of salt. Early life. Chisholm grew up in Georgetown, Massachusetts. He attended Dartmouth College, where he played for the soccer team. He graduated from Dartmouth in 1991, later received a Master of Business Administration from the Wharton School at UPenn. He grew up a fan of the Boston Celtics and is reported to have an encyclopedic knowledge of the team.
There it is. So that's a whole different scope. So to him, it's not a play toy. It's not solely about the business. He wants to be a lifer. Like, he wants to have, you can tell, he probably wants to do what Red Auerbach did and walk in the freaking stadium with cigars, and you can't smoke in the stadium. Like, so you can tell that's a very similar take as to what Mark had, being a fan of the team, because you got to consider that there's things to consider. What's the long haul? What if I stay around? Are they going to dismantle the team? Do I want to sign here in 2 years if it doesn't work for them getting whatever they're looking for? Are they going to dismantle the team, and am I going to be left here, miserable? So I don't think that's going to be the case with Boston.
And as of now, no known plans to trade Jason Tatum, like another franchise that was recently sold, traded their star player away, I say, in complete jest. But Stricky, $6.1 billion for the sale of the Boston Celtics. According to CNBC, before the season, Boston was valued at $5.5 billion. They make an extra $600 million on top of one of these valuations here. Right now, the $6.1 billion sale would jump Brooklyn, Houston, and Chicago to put Boston as the number 4 most valuable franchise in the NBA, behind no shock.
What's the top 10?
Okay, top 10. Golden State, number 1.
Wow.
You believe it?
I mean, okay.
Why are you a little surprised?
They Draked it. And I'm not talking about Kendrick Lamar and Drake. The old Drake where he started from the bottom.
Now we here.
It wasn't a sought after franchise back in the day.
How much credit do you give the Lacob family? How much credit goes to Steph Curry and Clay and Dre?
Well, you got to give the ownership group, because they had a willingness to pay it. When a lot of organizations at some point in time was like, no, and they stayed with the group for the right tenure. I got to give them credit. Now, there's something you had to see. One, there was risk because there was early injuries, but you stayed the course with him, and so you were able to get the return off the benefit of it.
Number 2, the New York Knicks.
Number
3, the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay.
Number 4, the Chicago Bulls.
I actually thought that would have been switched. But
really?
Yeah. Just the Knicks haven't done much to the tone of what the Lakers have done.
Sure.
The Knicks is like a as of late, it's kind of like they're a basketball version of the Cowboys.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Who's their Dak Prescott?
Kind of
Julius Randle, but they traded him, I guess.
Delusional, good enough to be good, but when it matters, there's nothing to show for it.
They were also pretty doo-doo there for a few years, though. They bounced back, though. To their credit, they made some good moves.
It's wild.
The Bulls at number 4.
That could be just New York tax.
We talked about that one.
That just could. No, for real. Real talk, Austin. I have friends still in New York. Some of them are teachers. I'm not leaving this job because,
Union
they're
benefits.
paying me over 100 and something thousand. I'm like, okay. Are you accounting for the standard of living? And are you accounting for, why they have to pay you that?
How much you taking home?
If you were right. If you were making 90 in this place with no tax, and things are cheaper there,
75 even.
you probably going home with more than what you would. Make it make sense to me. Like that's so to me, it could be just it's an inflated cost for what just the location.
Fair enough.
I mean, even Golden State.
Oh,
to
yeah.
to
Well, Chicago's
being
at number
up there.
4, same kind of story.
same time. It's something about that makes it that. Go
Then
ahead.
we get to number 5, Houston.
Wow. No, I wouldn't have seen that.
Tillman Fertitta.
I wouldn't have seen that.
Really?
I mean, obviously, Houston is what
Like,
fourth.
yeah, fourth.
in the
Yeah.
in the as far as
size in the country. Mhm.
Okay, that makes sense.
Then you have Houston at number 5, Brooklyn at number 6. Pretty big infusion of cash. Then Boston, they jumped them. The Clippers, despite being the Clippers, are at number 8. Miami at number 9,
That's
and
just
Dallas
market.
at number 10.
That's just market. Miami, understandable. That's location. Okay, well, Dallas is trying to tank their
And succeeding. I'm kind of surprised
I
by
think they've
Cleveland at
dropped.
15.
Wow.
Little old Cleveland. The Cavaliers at
Where's
15.
Detroit?
Take a guess.
Hola.
Excuse you. 25th. 25th.
Way down.
Who is Detroit ahead of? 5 teams
Detroit's
below
ahead
them.
of Utah.
No.
Ooh, okay.
Utah ranks number 20.
Okay. So if you've got them, Sacramento.
No, Sacramento is ahead of Cleveland.
Wow. Washington Wizards.
In D.C., all that money? You're 0 for 3, my boy. That's a strikeout. I'm just going to have to give you the answer now. The Wizards are 17th.
Oh, Orlando.
No, Orlando's at 23. OKC
close.
at 24.
No way.
Detroit at 25. The Indiana Pacers at 26. The Charlotte Hornets at 27. New Orleans Pelicans at 28. Minnesota Timberwolves at number 29. And number 30,
Milwaukee.
you were just there a year ago today. Memphis.
Memphis is the worst.
The lowest value, not by much, granted. Memphis valued at 3.2 bill, Minnesota 3.25, New Orleans 3.3.
Wow. And you got to pay Ja Wick.
You chose to pay Ja Wick. You tried. You sure tried. So I think that's pretty interesting. Curious to see how that goes. The changing hands of ownership, Stricky, is always interesting because we forget that's the NBA's board of governors is the 30 owners. Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I am still confused and will always be confused as to how the Dallas sale, or maybe it was just divestment from Mark Cuban, whatever it was, right, went through. Because these owners had to know what was coming, have some sense that, hey, these people have an eye on Vegas. They want to get to Vegas. Watch out for that. And I really would have hoped that NBA owners would have said, hey, let's maybe not rip a team out of the 6th biggest media market in the country with some really exciting young players and some really good recent history. Maybe let's say, hey, we'll give you a franchise. We'll let you in on the low, right? You can pay in low because we want you to be owners, but we're not going to let you destroy one of these franchises. And they still approved it. The board of governors had to approve that sale, and they did it. And I wonder how much of the story they had ahead of time, or if they had the whole story ahead of time and went ahead with it anyways. Either one is scary.
Okay. 10-4 hat.
Please.
Okay. There's never probably not going to be a team in Dallas. Hear me.
So you got 2.
You allow them to take him to Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
but your expanded team may go back to Dallas and somewhere else.
But isn't Dallas a more valuable market than Vegas?
No, I'm saying you may let them go, but you still whoever.
But what I'm saying is, why not work with what you already have that's established? Why not
agree.
plant the seed in Vegas? Why plant the seed in
I
Dallas?
agree. I
Because
think
those
it's
fans are going to be
weird.
pissed they took a team away,
I think it's very much so.
as they
Very
should
much
be.
so. It definitely seems like it's a play for devaluation of some form, or to put strain or leverage. It definitely seems like it's a leverage play to me, Austin.
Which It's the NBA. These are dudes' livelihoods that you're messing around with. And Stricky, I don't like it one bit.
Yeah.
Not at all. While we're on the Boston Celtics, I'm going to pull up some stats for you here, Stricky. Very recently, Kristaps Porzingis of the Boston Celtics made some NBA history. Just one of 10 players to record 900 blocks and 900 three-pointers in his career. A lot of more modern guys, right? You look at Brook Lopez, you look at Al Horford, Dirk, KD.
Pause. Which of those names are better than this one? Which of those names not one and the same?
Dirk.
Which name on there?
I'm getting to the other names. I'm saying the modern ones, right?
Okay.
Bron.
Okay.
The names that kind of surprise me, right? Sheed. Don't know if I would have seen the 900 blocks or the 900 threes. Sheed was about it. I didn't realize he was 9 and 9.
Go get it.
Okay. Clifford Robinson, I don't know enough about as a player.
I'm surprised at Uncle Cliffy.
Okay. Scottie Pippen. Okay. Didn't think of him as a 900 blocks guy because he's not really a center, more of a wing power forward guy, but he got it. And Shane Battier on the low.
The low.
That's longevity more so than immediate impact. Shane Battier was good. That's a National Player of the Year caliber guy when he was at Duke. But he eventually turned into that Juwan Howard role on those Heat teams for LeBron. Like, he was just around. So I was a little surprised by Shane Battier, but I guess as long as he's stuck in the league, it makes sense. So to me, the surprising ones are Clifford Robinson and Scottie Pippen.
I'm surprised by Al Horford.
Really?
I'm really surprised.
Okay.
Like, you don't realize that his game progressed
leaps and bounds
in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
He went from a straight post guy. He kind of looked like Kendrick Perkins initially.
Well, same with Lopez.
Right?
Yeah.
And stretched out and worked on three. And, but the blocks is the one that I'm surprised at.
Al played center when he came into the league.
Right.
Transitioned a little bit more to power forward. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where did Al Horford go to college, Stricky? You've mentioned this school many times today. Many times, I'm telling you. Many.
Horford, did he? No,
he was a part of the.
White went to Colorado.
Derek White went to Colorado eventually. Tatum went to.
Horford, where did he go? To Duke? No, not Duke.
Horford was on
Kentucky.
Horford went to the last school to go back-to-back in college basketball before UConn. He was part of those two teams. You're in the right conference.
Michigan State? No. Florida?
Yeah.
He did go to Florida.
It was Al Horford, Joakim Noah, Corey Brewer.
Wow.
He was on those teams.
Right.
Yeah.
Florida. Wow.
We're going to look up those teams while we have a second here. Yeah, Al Horford, University of Florida product.
Wow.
Joakim Noah, underrated, overrated, properly rated?
In
the NBA.
He uprated himself because a guy who can't shoot free throws, he's probably in the top 5 of ugliest jumpers of all time.
And ugliest dudes. That's a weird-looking fella.
Man. And his dad was kind of handsome. So
his dad was a tennis guy, right?
Right, tennis dude. And was good, too.
Yeah.
Why is Gonzaga beating the brakes off Georgia by
Well, because Georgia was overseeded, Gonzaga was underseeded.
Wow.
It's what, 20-something right now? 23?
Almost 30.
Woo.
Yeah, it's 28.
So those Florida teams, Stricky, you had Joakim Noah, Torian Green, Corey Brewer, Al Horford, and Chris Richard. All end up being NBA guys. They win it in 2005, 2006. Only
when
6
was
lost.
Jason Williams on that team?
He wasn't a Florida guy.
Yeah,
was he?
Jason Williams, the White Chocolate.
White Chocolate was Florida?
Look it up, my boy.
I feel like you're capping, my boy.
Look it up.
Jason Williams was a Florida guy. You're kind of blowing my mind right now. If the Wi-Fi holds up.
Check it.
Like White Chocolate, Jason Williams.
The Sauter Heyman text line knows Stricky is on point.
Oh, come on. Come on, Wi-Fi.
Look.
Oh, okay. So Jay Will started somewhere else. Where did he start before Florida?
Was it was Marshall?
Randy Moss, you. How about that? Thanks for teaching me something there, Stricky.
Yeah.
Jason Williams was about 7-8 years before that Florida team.
Yeah. Look at Jordan P on the Sauter Heyman text line.
Jordan
P's on it. Marshall, then Florida. You know what
How
I'm
about
talking.
that?
See, I gotta teach us. He's the resident encyclopedia, but Stricky knows something every now and
You do.
then. No, something.
You really do. I appreciate that about
Yeah,
you.
no,
Thank
right.
you for educating me and informing me.
Yeah.
Okay, so then
Jakey didn't know that. though.
So then Jason Williams, overrated, underrated, properly rated.
I think he's underrated.
Ooh. Okay.
He's a problem. He's a problem. I think he's before his time.
That I would believe. I
You know
mean,
what
the man averaged 10, 2, and 6 for his career, shot 40%, 33% from 3. So I feel like he's an interesting kind of litmus test here, Strick. The numbers were so-so. I mean, 10, 3, and 6. That's fine. That's okay. But his impact on the game of basketball seems like it was bigger than his impact on any one game.
Well, when he found himself with the Heat, it was the perfect time.
Mm.
He was the perfect time for being with that style of team, and in Miami for being what he could do for them in the role that he played, helping them to win that championship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would have been 2005, 2006.
You can understand why they went from him to Mike Bibby.
Oh, yeah.
You can understand.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Bibby wasn't going to be as flashy, but Bibby was get there and get the job done. He was a big time. He's underrated. I think Mike Bibby's underrated.
I forgot Antoine Walker was on that Heat team.
He's on the Heat team. Yeah.
Huh. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Darrell Wright?
That was probably the hodgepodge that worked. Remember, everybody was going through it in a phase. Nash and Gary Payton
was also on that team.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But then they was in the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
They made a try at it, and then others have tried it. They're probably the ones that were able to make it work.
That Miami team, Derek Anderson, Shandon Anderson, Earl Barron, Michael Doliak, Gerald Fitch, Udonis Haslem, Jason Capono, Lonzo Mourning in his 12th season, Shaq in his 13th, Gary Payton, James Posey, Wayne Simeon, rookie from Kansas, D. Wade his second year, Antoine Walker, Matt Walsh, Jason Williams, and Darrell Wright. Talk about a hodgepodge, man.
Hodgepodge. Throw it together, mix it up, and see if it if it tastes good. Chef in the kitchen.
Are there any other of those hodgepodge teams that have won a title that come to mind for you?
No. See, think about it. Barkley, Olajuwon, and Pippen were together. I think even Drexler was on that team. The Houston team.
What year? What year?
I want to say
99?
that had to be 98, maybe.
Okay, 97, 98 Houston had
It was
Barkley,
before Stephen franchise.
Drexler, Mario Ely,
Yep.
Othello Harrington, and Hakeem.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man.
That team missed,
41 and 41.
right?
The next year they were 31 and 19 in the strike season with
And then that's when
Barkley.
they get struck. That's when they got franchised, I think.
Yep, they had Barkley, Antoine Carr, Eddie Johnson was there, Katino Mobley.
That's when
They
first
drafted.
came.
Yeah, so 99 they had Barkley, Olajuwon, and Pippen,
Yeah.
but no Drexler. So Drexler left after 98.
Yeah.
That's so weird,
That
man.
was a hodgepodge.
What the heck?
I want to say New York maybe tried it, but I could be wrong. I don't know when. A team that was really good that I thought missed the mark was those old Milwaukee teams with Sam Cassell, Ray Allen, Big Dog.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were missing a center.
Right before like Michael Redd?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he came as a rookie
Later. Yeah.
I think if they had a center, a legit center, their center
Who
was
from
like
that era would have fit him?
Irving Johnson
Yeah,
was their center.
okay.
I think if they would have had a legit, if like Mourning was with their team or somebody like
Ooh, interesting.
that, they would have won. Think they missed it. And look, you got to give credit to Michael Jordan because he caused a lot of them to miss it.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Because some of those Indiana teams with the Davis brothers and
Mhm.
Deadlift Shrimp. Think of how long they were. Look.
In that
point
in that era.
In that era,
Yeah.
your point guard was Mark Jackson,
Not small.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Then your two guard was Reggie.
Mm-hmm.
Your
6'8".
three was Derek McKee at 6'10", and Shrimp
And Shrimp.
6'10",
Yeah.
6'10", 6'9", both of the Davis brothers.
Mm-hmm.
That was your front line.
How similar?
And Smits
Rick Smits. That's right.
as a center.
How similar is that to like what Oklahoma City's doing right now?
As far as how they're building it,
Yeah, size-wise.
you mean being long across
Yeah.
the board? I would say the only team to me that matches them is Houston. Across the
Ooh.
board.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
even if you go with Dylan Brooks, who's their point guard?
Well, Van Vliet, but
Van
he's
Vliet's
small.
the shortest one.
Yeah.
But then you've got one of the Thompsons,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other long defender,
Eason.
Eason,
Mm-hmm.
and then Şengün.
Yeah, with Jabari Smith in there.
They're long. But
Interesting.
a lot of them are going that route. A lot of people are going that 3-and-D size length,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're a specialized point guard who could do some things, and it doesn't matter size wise.
That to me, Strick, is why I think the next adjustment the NBA might have to make is widen the court. If you want to see the reintroduction of small guards and traditional posts, I don't think you need to spread the floor and like bring the 3-point line out. I think you got to spread the width of the court a little bit to open up some more driving lanes for those smaller guys to get underneath the length, or spread out the floor so you can have more one-on-ones for if you're low post guys. My guess is they would move the 3-point line back there too, but as long as the dimensions of the court stay the same, Muggsy Bogues ain't ever reached in the league again. Isaiah Thomas, the more recent one, isn't reaching the league again. Like even Steph, I mean, it's 6'2", 6'3". The only reason he's in the league is so he can shoot at this point. So I'm curious to see if that's the next step for the league. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah. Jordan P throws out on the Sutter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. The 06 Pistons, they were a hodgepodge.
Do you agree with that? Because to me,
I
they
can
felt
see where
like a
he's
team.
going. I can see where he's going. I think they were a team. Well, that's Tayshaun Prince.
You went
Tayshaun
64-18. You don't
Yeah.
go 64-18
Yeah,
with a
they were a
hodgepodge,
team.
man.
Tayshaun Prince. I don't think they were a thrown together team, or trying to. But he said they had 5 All-Stars on that team.
So that would have been obviously Billups, Rip Hamilton,
Tayshaun Prince,
Tayshaun Prince,
Big Ben.
Sheed, and Big Ben.
Yeah,
That's not a hodgepodge.
I don't think
That's a really good team. Now, let's go back a couple years and think about that Pistons team in 03-04.
34 real quick. No, I don't think they tried it with Larry. I think Larry just ended up there. I mean, I was on that team, and it was Sprewell, Houston, Camby, LJ, and then Charlie Ward and Chris Childs and that group. So I can't say that was they kind of were a team and just kind of added Larry Johnson to it. Camby was always there outside of leaving Toronto. So I can't say that was the case.
That 03-04 Pistons team that won the title, same core, right, of Billups, Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace, and Rasheed Wallace. Stricky, they had rookie Darko Milicic, bust. Mehmet Okur.
I played with him or against him. He was horrible.
Mehmet Okur started his career in Detroit before he went to
Orlando. He was in Orlando.
Utah is where I remember him from.
Oh, man.
It was Okur and Kirilenko.
Yeah,
were the duo with
Mehmet
Williams.
Can go, yo. He can play.
I'm telling you, I agree.
Yeah. He was like a
Hubert Davis was on that
Jokic.
team.
He was kind of like Jokic without the passing. He couldn't pass
Okay.
like Jokic, but he moved like Jokic. Very straight up, methodical, good footwork though.
Mm-hmm.
Mehmet moved like that. Couldn't really stretch, but he could get out to about 15 foot.
Yeah, for his career, ended up shooting 38% from three, so he must have grown into it at the end. And then that Pistons team also had Hubert Davis on it, current head coach of Carolina, and Darvin Ham.
D-Ham.
D-Ham was on that team.
D-Ham used to go up and try to dunk on everybody.
Didn't get Stricky though.
No, D-Ham didn't get me. And I'm not telling you who did.
Because no one did. The list is over.
Got me. Somebody got me.
We'll leave it at that. We'll get you off air before you end up accidentally spilling the secrets. He's Strick. Thanks for sticking around, partner.
Word.
We'll do it again tomorrow.
Amen.
That's the plan. He's Strick. I'm Austin. A couple more segments to go from Wings and Rings when we return.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through April 1st is $1 off all pasta, $2 off spaghetti sauce, and special discounts on hamburgers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or also at 168th and Maple Streets in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
We're in Baton Rouge at the original Raising Cane's with the man that started it all.
Wait, are you the Yes Chef guy?
Todd started this place 28 years ago with one goal in mind: making the best chicken fingers in the world. We got their famous box combo, chicken fingers, crinkle cut fries, Texas toast slaw, and their world famous cane sauce. Could shed a tear right now.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Do you need a urologist? At Urology Partners of Nebraska, we understand the urgency of your health. That's why we offer appointments within 48 hours. Although we're new to the community, our team brings years of experience and expertise to provide you with the best care possible. From vasectomies to kidney stones, we've got you covered for all your urology health concerns. Call 402-413-2800 today and experience the difference at Urology Partners of Nebraska.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Spring is the time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table. Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Buffalo Wings and Rings today on 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Biggest question people have is, how do I start the process? What is the process? I want to build a new home, but I don't know what the first step is.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
The first step is make an appointment. Come on into my office. Let's sit around the table. Let's talk about what you're looking for, what your needs are, what your budget might be. And let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. And get a house that you're going to be happy with. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done. Once you find a good lot, let's get it reserved because there's a very limited number of lots in this town. And then start designing that floor plan that's going to be perfect for you. Next thing you know, we're moving dirt.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine with a light breeze. An afternoon high around 43. Tonight, increasing cloud cover, continued breeze, a low near 35. And tomorrow, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day. It'll be breezy with a high near 56. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleckner for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to old school on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are here, Buffalo Wings and Rings, another 25 minutes or so before we bring you some live college basketball over the 93.7 The Ticket airwaves. We will have, it'll be Kansas and Arkansas, the first game for you coming up right at 6. Austin Norman and Jake Sorensen on the air with you right now. Jake, welcome to the afternoons, my friend.
Good to be here. It's been a long, fun day at Buffalo Wings and Rings, a long day for myself. Doing the morning show, coming over to set this stuff up. But as usual, fun with the ping pong balls. They were gone before Carrick went on the air at 11. So just love seeing the line, anticipation for that, and the excitement from people. And so I hope that never, ever stops in any year to come.
I think we can both agree the atmosphere, the fun at Wings and Rings has been better than the actual atmosphere of March Madness basketball itself so far.
I can't, I've been watching March Madness for a long time, as you have as well. Maybe this is a short memory, but I can't remember a first day that was this boring, should I say? I mean, this is an event. This is the start of four of the best days of the entire sports calendar.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about, for me, I'm a golf guy. I love the Masters in April. It contends with this, but in terms of what gets people to the sports bars and betting and just watching the games, looking for upsets, it's this. And yeah, we had an upset. McNeese did beat Clemson, but they led by 15, 20 points the whole game. So it got dicey at the end. They won by 2. And that's been the only drama so far in the tournament. I mean, I guess Creighton wins the first game by 14, 15 points. They look great, and that set the tone for the day. High Point made it interesting for a while with Purdue. They
faded in the last
pulled
day.
Away at the end. At one point, Georgia was down 27-3 to Gonzaga. I mean, they're getting just steamrolled. So, again, I don't know every tournament every year by heart, but this has been, to me, just dead. And not Wings and Rings. I'm saying the tournament has been so dead and disappointing. And I guess this should make us always appreciate the years that we've had, the chaos and the carnage.
And I think that the hope then is that we turn the page from a boring Thursday either to an exciting Friday.
Yes.
Or an exciting weekend. Or if nothing else, if we get a boatload of favorites, the second and third weekends have the potential to be absolute all-timers.
Well, and let's not forget, we're through half the games today.
We are.
You could have
correct?
You could have an epic nightcap, and we got.
You want to call your shot on where you think the epic nightcap is coming from?
So the games ahead are Tennessee, Wofford, 550. I could see Wofford pushing them. I'm taking Tennessee to win. Kansas, Arkansas. The trendy picks, but Arkansas. I just I'm taking Bill Self to win the game against Calipari's had so many issues himself in the dance. Why are we just saying
could be
Arkansas?
Fireworks there at least?
You could. I picked Yale to beat A&M. I do think that's.
Okay.
I have now. You can say what you want. My bracket has been horrific so far. I think everyone's saying, "Oh, I've been great." I think I've got less than half the games right so far. I picked High Point to upset Purdue. I picked Louisville. I picked VCU to beat BYU. That was not correct. I picked there's several more that have been wrong on. So Clemson I picked to go to the Sweet 16, and after they beat VCU, so I've already lost that entire part of the bracket there, which is fine. It's part of the madness. But I think Yale will push and defeat A&M. That's my upset pick tonight. I am not buying the trendy Drake versus Missouri pick. The whole country is picking Drake. When someone does it like that, it rarely happens. I'm taking Missouri to beat Drake and Ben McCollum.
That's why I went with Clemson over McNeese.
Same.
I heard so much
Right.
chatter about,
Absolutely.
Will Wade. I felt like he was giving too much deference to his alma mater. He was distracted with the North Carolina State coaching.
Correct.
Coach. I'm like, you know what? McNeese is going to give him a game, but I've watched a lot of Clemson. They'll find a way to pull this one through. And I'll say this about Missouri Drake. Two wildly different styles of play, which gives Drake a chance. I was telling this to Strick, and he tended to agree with me. If you're going to be an underdog, if you're going to be a trendy mid-major pick, you have to have your identity. If you just play in between normal straight-up basketball, it's not going to go well for you. You're going to be outmanned across the board. Do I think Drake is going to be able to hold its identity against Missouri? No. What a year-over-year turnaround for Dennis Gates and the Tigers.
Absolutely.
But what you want to look for in these upset picks, if you want to call your shot, are, number one, clear statistical advantages or disadvantages. Where can this underdog attack this favorite, make their living, and can they do it for 40 minutes? The other part is the identity. Drake has played at the slowest tempo in the country all year. I don't usually like that out of my underdogs. But if you can make it work for you for one night and then do it again 2 nights later, if you have an identity and you play to it, you can be successful. Now, if Drake allows itself to get into a track meet with Missouri, I think Missouri wins going away. Drake's betting on our half-court execution will be better than yours. We will hit 45+% of our shots, 35+% from three. You will get one shot on the offensive glass 90% of the time. That's Drake's bet. I don't think it's a great one, but it's kind of what they have to do.
Well, then at the same point, you look at why we should have maybe picked McNeese over Clemson. McNeese is a physical team. They're pretty big. They rebound the ball well. And you know what? They play really good defense. And your hope is, can you out-athlete them? And Clemson could not. They had 13 points at halftime in the game. 13. I mean, it looked like a
Clemson
Nebraska
football scored more than that in a quarter.
Like a Nebraska basketball performance in the tournament. I mean, I'm just saying, that's what it felt like to me. And same for Georgia. Because I've seen this before from my own school here in the rare appearances. But, maybe we should have seen McNeese coming. But I said the reason – I did my bracket last night. And that was when we had found out, like you said, that Will Wade was going to take the NC State job. I thought distraction comes into play. Clemson made the Elite Eight last year. They have been here with a lot of these guys. Brad Brownell got over a hump that he has not done. So I was stunned with how bad they played in the first half. Made it interesting at the end, and McNeese won. But, again, Yale tonight is a pick I have over A&M. I've got Missouri beating Drake. UCLA, Utah State is a toss-up game. I took UCLA in that one. I'm taking Mick Cronin. The other ones that could bring some fireworks are the last 3 games. I think Omaha, again, nothing to lose. They're playing. It's their first ever tournament. They should be somewhat loose. We're a 15 seed playing against Rick Pitino. We're not supposed to be here.
Right.
That's easier said than done. You can say, hey, there's nothing to lose, but once you want to win the game.
Right.
So I'm hoping that they push, St. John's. The other trendy pick is, of course, UC San Diego over Michigan. Once again, like the story with McNeese and Clemson and Drake, Missouri, I took Michigan. I have fallen too many times in my own bracket for the trendy upset pick and have been let down. And maybe this is a year where it actually happens, and I'm the idiot that didn't pick it, which is probably the case, Austin.
I'll be right there with you, Jake.
Because
I'll be right there with you.
I believe last year in the bracket of the ticket bracket, I finished like bottom 10 of 300 some, like bottom 10. And I didn't try to. I didn't pick a 15 seed to win it all. I picked like 2 seed to win it all.
Yeah.
I was trying to be somewhat chalk and realistic, and I was bottom 10. So what do I know? Is what I'm saying. I've never really been successful in the bracket. I try, I give it my all, and it never works out.
Try so hard, get so far, and in the end,
I am Lincoln Park. I am Lincoln Park.
Yeah, we are indeed in Lincoln. In fact, Buffalo Wings and Rings on 68th and O Street in Lincoln. Would love to see you out here yet tonight for the late slate of games or tomorrow at any time between 11 and 6. UC San Diego was an interesting one for me because I thought that Michigan was what Nebraska wanted to get to, with 2 bigs on the court that had big impacts in different ways. Nebraska never got there. Michigan did for the most part. Michigan's guards don't exactly strike fear into anyone, but they're solid enough to get the job done. Not Michigan State level of guards, but they're good enough. But Michigan just can't stop turning the ball over. And what does UC San Diego do better than any other team in the country? Turn teams over.
But
I talked myself into that, and I talked myself out of it. Was Tritons are a little small, right? They shoot adequately from three, but they're not necessarily elite at it. Michigan, I think, is feeling pretty good. And, there's a lot of talk about Michigan and all their one-score wins. They finish as high as they do in the conference with a negative point differential in Big Ten play, right? That hasn't been done in 150 years, if ever, in the sport of college basketball. And usually I look for those sort of stats to tell me, yep, this team's going to hit a wall. They're going to hit it hard. They'll regroup next year. But there's just so much anti-Michigan chatter. I like enough pieces of their team. I went with them in that one too.
I took Michigan. I don't like Michigan that much. I really don't. I think that they have really overachieved with their roster, and that's credit to Dusty May. And that's why I'm picking them, is because of Dusty May.
Fair.
Last year, again, look at last year gets FAU to the Final Four in obviously sudden death, win or go home scenario. This year, Michigan came in really not playing good basketball to the Big Ten tournament. They had scuffled towards the end, lost at home, barely beat Rutgers in a buzzer beater at home, lost some other games. Should have lost to Nebraska. Didn't. They were scuffling, lost by 20 at home to Illinois. And then what do? They go and run through the Big Ten tournament, have a miracle win in the final. And that's Dusty May. When it comes to you have to win it or you go home, he proved it last year. He proved it in the Big Ten tournament. That's why I'm going opposite of the trendy upset pick, which is very unlike me. And I'm taking Big Ten, Michigan over UC San Diego, which I love the story. I hope that it's a great game. And I would say, again, 3-seed Texas Tech against UNC Wilmington. Wilmington has had some upsets in the history in the past.
Kevin Keats, you.
Yep.
Formerly.
But I'm taking Texas Tech. But would I be surprised if we saw, again, upsets and drama these last few games of the night? No, because we deserve that for what March Madness is all about.
Jake, a week from today is the Sweet 16. Do you know what else is in a week from today?
Major League Baseball opening day, not the Tokyo opening day, the real opening day.
Real American
Yes.
made opening day. We'll talk about that in our Lord and Savior King Bobby Witt Jr. to wrap up Old School in just a minute.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
If the week's been too hectic to even think about dinner, or your family can't handle one more night of leftovers, then it's time to let Hog Wild do the cooking. Hog Wild's family packs are one heck of a good deal for a complete barbecue meal loaded with all the smoked meats, tasty sides, buns, and sauces you need to feed your family. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
We're in Baton Rouge at the original Raising Cane's with the man that started it all.
Wait, are you the Yes Chef guy?
Todd started this place 28 years ago with one goal in mind: making the best chicken fingers in the world. We got their famous box combo, chicken fingers, crinkle cut fries, Texas toast slaw, and their world famous cane sauce. Could shed a tear right now.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Spring storms can unfortunately lead to power outages. While LES line workers go out in the storm, you can stay in, but you can also help by reporting your outage right away online at les.com/report.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through April 1st is $1 off all pasta, $2 off spaghetti sauce, and special discounts on hamburgers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or also at 168th and Maple Streets in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to old school on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back one final time for just a few minutes here from Buffalo Wings and Rings for Old School. Os Norman, Jake Sorensen with you. As you see underneath me on stream, I'm pointing to it right now. Old School is always brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Jake, you mentioned it going into the break. 1 week from today, we get to see Bobby Witt Jr. play baseball that actually matters again. I can't wait.
You mean for the eventual AL champion KC Royals, correct?
Jake, there are actual honest-to-God people who are paid to write about baseball for a living who are picking the Kansas City Royals to win the division, and I feel like Will Ferrell and Talladega Nights. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my hands.
Austin, it just feels, again, I'm not trying to let people down or get scared and too excited, but it feels a lot like the 14-15 seasons, where last year the Royals were – we had hope for them, but they really overachieved our goals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we saw Cole Reagans was a certified ace. Seth Lugo had an incredible year. Waka was great.
Mm-hmm.
And they survived injuries to Chris Bubich and Michael Lorenzo they traded for. They survived that. And that's something where previous Royals teams did not do.
No.
And you think about when the Royals were so good in 14-15, it was HDH. It was Holland, Davis, Herrera, Davis, Holland to close the games. And I don't know if they
got EAG.
Now that,
Ursay Carvey Estevez.
Lucas Ursay really changed the vibe. But, hey, we have an alpha closer. And they got Estevez, who also can close too. And so, I mean, I'm optimistic. Jonathan India had a phenomenal spring training. I know he's not going to be in the majors yet, but Cags was great in spring training. So the future you get so excited about there. Vinny's back from injury, looks good. Salvi, is just, has showed, knock on wood, no signs of slowing down. We hope that's the case also. It's the questions that rise are, can Michael Massey produce at a high level again?
Stay healthy.
Can he stay healthy? and I mean, they don't have, they have questions. They don't have a ton of questions. That's why I can understand the intrigue. I mean, they beat the Orioles in 2 games last year in the wild card round. They pushed the Yankees. They lost 3-1, but still.
Oh, I was there.
But still, every game was intriguing. Every game was close, and obviously, you hope Lugo does not regress. He's getting older. Say for Waka, he still comes back. But if they don't, then there's a very high ceiling for this team.
Who's the biggest competition for them in the Central? Do you think?
If you look at, I was looking at a lot of projections. I mean, there's 4 teams you could pick right now. It could, the White Sox. It's not you.
You also exist.
I hope that they're better. They were horrific, obviously, historically bad last year. But
that's what helped the Royals get in the playoffs. 12-1 against Chicago.
Yes.
Whereas Detroit scuffled.
You can make a case for Detroit, Cleveland, and Minnesota, and the Royals, which is great. I mean, this was supposed to be a bad division last year, and you had 4 teams that were 500 or better. So I think the same thing happens this year. So that's why if to answer the question who is the best, I think it's going to be really come down to the last 2 weeks of the season when you have 4 teams that feel like they viably could get to the postseason, which is what it's supposed to be.
And where can Lincoln hear the Royals all season long?
On 93.7 The Ticket Sports Radio.
That's true. For Jake, for Strick, for Jay, I'm Austin. It's been fun. We will talk to you tomorrow at 11 a.m. here from Buffalo Wings and Rings. Again, thanks to them for hosting. Ticket Weeknights comes your way in just a moment.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through April 1st is $1 off all pasta, $2 off spaghetti sauce, and special discounts on hamburgers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or also at 168th and Maple Streets in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships, one with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
We're in Baton Rouge at the original Raising Cane's with the man that started it all.
Wait, are you the Yes Chef guy?
Todd started this place 28 years ago with one goal in mind: making the best chicken fingers in the world. We got their famous box combo, chicken fingers, crinkle cut fries, Texas toast slaw, and their world famous cane sauce. Could shed a tear right now.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off your enrollment. The next 10-week challenge begins on April 12th. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Do you need a urologist? At Urology Partners of Nebraska, we understand the urgency of your health. That's why we offer appointments within 48 hours. Although we're new to the community, our team brings years of experience and expertise to provide you with the best care possible. From vasectomies to kidney stones, we've got you covered for all your urology health concerns. Call 402-413-2800 today and experience the difference at Urology Partners of Nebraska.
Biggest question people have is, how do I start